It's a really unique thing we have, particularly in Western liberal democracies or countries that have adopted Western-style liberal democracies like South Korea or Japan, where you can have faith generally in, let's say, law enforcement or the judicial system to not just make sure that your civil rights are protected, but that you will be given a fair and legal process. I went on GB News in London to speak with Nigel Farage. Not optimistic about where America's heading. I think what we are witnessing is that certain federal agencies are being used, weaponized against certain segments of the American population. The current administration shares a mutual enemy.
Donald Trump making it almost clear yesterday that he's going to run. Does he help this situation? Is he part of the solution, or does he inflame it even more?
What happened in 2016 when he was announced as a winner, that really broke the mainstream left. It radicalized them. And I'm afraid of how they would respond again to another Trump campaign. And this is completely independent of what Trump may say or do. It almost doesn't really matter. The fact of his mere existence, the fact that the American right wants to organize and be part of this political process in the minds of the far left is inexcusable, unacceptable, and must be shut down by any means necessary. The whole MO of Antifa, as I've said over and over, is to make sure that there is no voice on the right. And it doesn't matter if you are far right, center right, or even centrist or left wing, anything that they deem a threat to whatever belief they have, they will carry out violence against you. And the reason why a relatively small number of violent extremists and Antifa have been able to create such havoc and fear and chaos in many American cities is because they're given the okay from the left-wing establishment to do it, because people like Trump supporters, dissident journalists like myself, anybody who dares to challenge left-wing orthodoxy, share a mutual enemy with Antifa. So in certain jurisdictions, they are allowed to carry out violence and intimidation almost with impunity. What I was saying there in the interview is that the mere existence of conservative organizing is seen as an unforgivable sin by many on the left and all of the far left. And so it doesn't matter what Trump says or does. The fact that he remains a political force in the United States is seen as something that cannot be tolerated. Some of this extreme militant intolerance comes from certain philosophers that are really important to left-wing ideology today. I'm talking about Herbert Marcuse, who's an academic originally from Germany, who's part of the Frankfurt School. I write about this a little bit in my book. Obviously, there are people like James Lindsay and others who dive much more deeply into the origins of critical theory. All of these things, these disciplines in academia that kind of form the ideological bedrock of these militant left-wing movements today, you can trace it back.